So guys, there's quite a lot to talk about in terms of FF7 Remake news, and I just can't contain it today. Heyo guys and girls, welcome back to another video. In this one, we are talking about some FF7 Remake news. So, new trademarks hint at potentially new projects for the game, for just this remake in general, which includes Ever Crisis, the first soldier, and the Shinra Electric Power Company logo. Yeah, Ever Crisis, Crisis Core. Are we seeing Zack again? So Ever Crisis, the main thing that I'm anticipating to be Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, potential remake / HD remaster thing, which would be dope. But it's interesting that they called it Ever Crisis, don't you think? There has been other prequels that have pertained to the name of, Crisis, like before Crisis, which is, I think, before Crisis Core, and the whole Zack stuff and basically what the Turks were doing. It's been in my mind for quite a few days now, and I'm really thinking that Ever Crisis could be Crisis Core, but with remake elements, or the Genesis elements that we now know that Final Fantasy VII Remake is basically a part of, is this Genesis thing. At least I think that's what it's called. I'm correcting myself as I go here. Imagine, right? Ever Crisis is like connecting the remake and Zack's story and having new subtle additions that could pertain to future endeavors. If I talk too much, I might have a controversy in the comment section, but I'm really thinking, just think about it though. Ever Crisis being a sort of, this HD remaster for Crisis Core, but also connecting to the remake in some form of way and having added elements that, Sephiroth from Advent Children, kind of creeping up on Zack and be like, yo, what's good, homie? You're gonna die, putting stuff in his face, to make him a little bit more cautious and afraid in a sense, because it seemed, Eris. I just really call her Eris. This ain't the original translation. What am I saying? It seemed like Eris was kind of already aware about the, those husks. And so she was the only one being able to see them. Now, how can she see them? Why is she so aware of, these the presence of these, whispers and such? Could it be from before? With Crisis Core and how this remake could overall connect, and of course Aerith is a Cetra, so of course she would be able to see things that's abnormal in the live stream, but being able to see it like that and being able to touch people and so that they can see, I almost wonder if Zack was able to see these husks when Aerith met Zack in this new universe of Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's really got me thinking here. There's a lot of possibilities that even I probably cannot comprehend. The inevitability that Ever Crisis could potentially be Crisis Core, but remake Crisis Core or something. I was almost thinking that they might do something like this, recreating the entire saga within this remake, which would be a really good, cool thing. And I'm not necessarily saying, oh yeah, this is Final Fantasy VII Remake, as in, all of them all jumbled into one, but I mean, more or less they, recreated the future, projects like Drugs of Cerberus and, Crisis Core, and even potentially Advent Children, if that's a thing, but I don't necessarily think that will really happen, depending what happens in this remake. I don't know. But it'd be really cool to at least see an HD remaster of Drugs of Cerberus and Crisis Core, if this Ever Crisis thing is not a Crisis Core thing. Like, Ever Crisis could even be when, like, Zack and Cloud go back to Midgar, and it's just a whole sub-story of just them exploring Midgar and coming, you know, basically coming from that huge battle. The possibilities are very endless here. I'm just really curious to what Nimura is gonna do here. It's very, very, very interesting here with Ever Crisis, and I'm just really hyped to see potentially my boy Zack fair again. Like, I want that man to live so badly. But like, I almost wonder if Sephiroth just brings back Zack and like lets Aerith live until the very last second, kills them right in front of Cloud, and just has them feel so much pain. Like, I'm getting controversial here. I'm getting too controversial. I've been watching too much theories on this game and too much theory talking from Final Fantasy Peasant. Now I'm just kind of speculating on my own, just trying to figure out what Ever Crisis could really be here. I'm very excited. What would you guys think in the comments below, because I'm curious what you all think. Like, I'm just going insane, just as insane as director, don't mind me. I'm probably not making any sense. So then we got the First Soldier, which potentially, a lot of people were speculating Ever Crisis to be a, you know, mobile spinoff potentially, but I'd say First Soldier potentially could be because of just the naming scheme. The First Soldier, like, I don't know. I wouldn't really like them to separate the story into a mobile game, although everyone has a phone. A lot of people don't have the attention span to play mobile games, or to necessarily, you know, play mobile games in general, because people just like to, you know, be on their console and play games. They don't like sitting there, you know, like hunched down, like, yeah, I gotta grind for the dailies, you know. So my thing is that I just don't want anything separated in this story, because then it's gonna leave people really confused to like what happened in any of these games. Just like I am a bit with Kingdom Hearts right now. I refuse to play Union Cross because it's just such a grind, and I'm not so keen on playing a mobile game and having the attention span for it. And then for them to have canon story in it kind of annoys me because of the way that they handled the other games in the series that were basically separated until the HD remasters. So I guess they still haven't learned the lesson, but I sure as hell hope that there's a goddamn summary that I can watch before Kingdom Hearts 4 or whatever the next thing is that I can catch up, because I would still refuse to play Union Cross. And the logo for the Shinra Electric Power Company could be pertaining to either Ever Crisis and the First Soldier logo. I'm thinking that it might be more leaning towards Ever Crisis, because I'm pretty sure Crisis Core used the Shinra logo as its like little emblem when you launch the game. I could be wrong. On PSP? No, maybe not. I remember seeing that logo somewhere. I just can't quite recall what it was used for when you launched the game on PSP. I could be just remembering wrong, but I would just say it's probably going to be pertaining to just, you know, what the game logo looks like, either on like a console, you know, a PC, whatever. That being said, I don't know what the Shinra Electric Power Company logo is really going to be used for. It can be merchandise too, you know. So with that, there's one more thing that we should talk about, and that is a Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to PC and PS5 soonish. It makes sense because the PS4 exclusivity will be ending within March, so they could potentially announce it in March, or they might announce it next month, which would be really dope. And that would be really good, because I'd really like to buy it on PC, although I'm running a 1070 right now. I might not be able to run it that great, but sure as hell can run it better than a PS4. Regardless though. Mods. That's what I need it for. I need Sora being the protagonist in Remake. Just to mess with my mind. But really, mods would be interesting in Final Fantasy VII Remake. And just overall having, you know, wider FOV, having just graphic options that you don't really have on a console. Like, the one thing that I said in my last video in terms of PS5 port that I'd want in particularly is it's to be free, or at least a $5 upgrade, because paying full price for a game that you already spent so much money on to begin with for the PS4 version really wouldn't tickle my fancy, if you will. It wouldn't really tickle my fancy the right way. So I really hope that they decide to release it free for current owners of Final Fantasy VII Remake, so that people who already own it on PS4 can just be able to get their PS5 and, you know, start playing it. The one problem that I would have also is if Final Fantasy VII Remake is $60, that would not, or $70, my bad. $70, the new price for PS5 games for some weird reason. That would not be good. And if this isn't free for current owners, a lot of people will not take too happy to it. And I just hope that they realize that, and they'll probably make it free with the like mod that they're gonna get, because they're not gonna be expecting it. Like, Square Enix, so I really think they might try to charge for it, which makes me a bit scared. But I have hope the community will basically call them out on their bullshit, and basically we might potentially get it for free. Not saying that's necessarily the great thing, but I can't defend paying more money for something that's just a console upgrade. With PC, whatever like part that you switch out or, you know, configure differently, you can still play the game and own it and just run it. With console, it's like you have to rebuy the game for it to work on that console, which I absolutely hate. I mean, this generation's a lot smoother with backwards compatibility, especially Xbox 2, but getting a graphically more enhanced version and paying for it, never again. That's why I've been buying most of my games on Steam. It just works out a lot better. So with that being said, I hope you'll like this little discussion video, me just, you know, talking my thoughts upon these things, because I'm very interested to see what happens. I'm very hyped, as you can tell, so that's why I figured to just sit here and just talk, let myself vent about stuff that's been in my mind about, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake and such, because this is a very big project and something to be very looking forward to in the coming years and months. With that being said, if you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.